What's growing on, gardeners? On today's video, me and Burrow are going to show you how we get our pepper plants ready for outdoors, as well as transplant, and the secret method that we use to make sure we have beautiful, healthy yields all season long. Plus, we're going to be doing a little bit of a different twist on some pepper plants this year. So stick around. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, get you something to drink, get you a nice little snack, stick around. Let's go. So let's talk about the humble pepper plant. It's a wildly underrated plant in my opinion. I find eating peppers with more dishes than I do tomatoes makes me want to grow more peppers than I do tomatoes. However, every year it seems I grow more tomato plants than I do peppers. Now that's only being because I like variety. You go to the grocery store, there's only what they have there. And a lot of the times it's not as fresh. They have to pick it a long time beforehand. They have to let it sit, and then they have to let it sit in a room with certain chemicals in the room to start down the... Anyway, long story short, I like to grow all of my own stuff, but I always find myself growing more tomatoes than I do peppers. That changes this year. I find myself eating more peppers than I do tomatoes. So I'm going to grow more peppers this year. That way I can store them if need be. I can grow them. I can eat them all summer. Me, I do camping, fishing, outdoor related stuff. I eat steaks. I mean, we do it all around here. So we like to cook our own food. We like to do our own thing. So nonetheless, we're going to grow a bunch of pepper plants this year. So with that, we're going to do multiple different ones. We are going to grow organics. We are going to grow some in-ground or in bed and raised beds. And we're going to grow some in containers. The containers are going to be a little bit different. And we also are going to grow some hydroponic peppers. We're going to test our run at all of it, see how it all goes. Me, I like to do a lot of experiments. I like to try out new things. I don't like to grow the same way all the time. Even though I am going to grow some the traditional way that I always have, I'm going to jump out of my comfort zone and try new things. See if it provides me a different result, higher yields or less. We'll see. I have all my own setup. I built this all myself. So let me show you what I have going on, the pepper varieties that I have, and the setups that we're going to be using. So let's go over the varieties that we're going to be using here. These were started from seed roughly 6-7 weeks ago. These right here, these are early jalapenos, and they were started in these seed trays or these seed cells. These are mini bell peppers and grand bell mix. Those were started 4 weeks ago. These right here are some California Wonder that are still inside of their seed cells. Those are a bell pepper, a sweet bell pepper, as well as these. These right here have been transplanted or potted, whatever you want to call it. California Wonder. Looking great. Looks like we have a little leaf damage on that one right there. These have been outside hardening off. These are all California Wonder right here. We have a peppercini plant. Or peppercini. I don't even know how this even got in here. We have some poblanos. And these all right here, these are salsa. Just a salsa blend. So I'm imagining these are a mixture of different types of peppers, all in the salsa variety. Oh, got a car driving by. That's urban gardening for you, everybody. But those are our peppers. These are what we're going to be going with. And those right here, these still have weeks to go before they're transplanted out here. But these, we're going to go ahead and work with. The jalapenos, we can go ahead and transplant, even though they are just a little bit, they're about 3 weeks behind these right here. These have all been transplanted out. Those California Wonder are the same age as these. They just haven't been transplanted. That's why they're not as big. Let's get these going. Grabbed out some medium here. This is just a cocoa perlite mix. I keep this stuff on hand for whenever I need to transplant something. This is my base mix. I start everything from this. That I'm growing in Coco Coir. I don't grow everything in Coco Coir. I grow some vegetables, some container plants, some house plants do well in this stuff as well. And I also do my medicinals. All that being said, beautiful, beautiful, fluffy, loamy mix. Perfect. This has no nutrients. Coconut coir is an inert media. It has no nutrients. You have to add everything. Coconut coir is a very, very good growing substrate. This is what we're going to be using for our hydroponic pepper mix. This is going to be excellent for hydroponics. This has already been buffered. CalMag has been added to this to substitute the salts that are in it due to the high salt content, because it is grown near oceans, so I would assume there's a high salt content in coconut husks and coconut fiber. Now, that is not good for plants, so you have to replace that with calcium or magnesium. That's buffering. So this is buffered. It's beautiful. I add CalMag to my water when I hydrate just to be safe. But let's get started. We're going to be transplanting into these. These are 3-gallon fabric pots from VivoSun. You could pick yourself up some as well. You could save yourself some money. Use the code Barrington15 on Amazon. On any VivoSun products. But that's what we're going to be using for our hydroponics. You'll see the system that we're going to build for that coming up. But first, I want to get these transplanted, get them going, get them out of those small solo cup little 3-inch starter nursery pots. Let's get them out of those, get them into these, get them situated, get them sitting over here, get them ready to go. And then we'll build out our hydroponic system. And we'll get into the secret of how I enhance my peppers to make sure they maximize production for me. This is what they look like once you open them up. Not that big, just holds 3 gallons, which this is perfect for what I want for my hydroponic setup. My hydroponic setup is going to utilize these perfectly. So the plan is just to fill these up with the mix. This does not require anything else. There we go, that should be good. On to the next one. I'm going to fill up as many of these as I can with my mix. Let me get after it. So here we go. Got them together. Now I did get 10 of these done. I couldn't do the whole 12. I ended up getting 10 and a half of one done. But 10 of them are full, ready to go. So we'll transplant 10 of these into our pots. Now it's just decide which ones I want to go, which ones I want to leave, and which ones I want to put where. So let me do that. Bring you back in just a second. And here are our plants. So I've decided to do 6 of the California Wonder bell peppers, basically. and 4 of the early jalapeno. You can see they're all sitting ready to go. The roots did not make it all the way down to the end. These, however, in the California Wonder, the roots were exploding into their seed starting cell pots. Look at that. Nice, beautiful, healthy roots. Beautiful, healthy plant. So 6 California Wonder and 4 early jalapeno. That's what I'm going to be doing today, right now. The rest of those, I will splash a little bit of half-strength nutrient just to get them along a little bit further. And I'll come back in, and tomorrow or the next day, I'll set me up a new one and put some more grow bags. This is only about half. This is probably going to do 1 of the hydroponic runs right here. Now there are 2, so there's going to be about 20 or so hydroponic pepper plants. I think the salsa, I think we'll mix those and put those, or some of those over there with the Roma tomatoes, the determinate tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and transplant these. These don't require any special treatment for transplanting. These are going straight into there. All the nutrients are going to be fed hydroponically, so I don't need to add anything in here. I just need to transplant. Nothing special. Let me get these done. Should take about 5 minutes or so. Should be very easy. After that, we'll come back and we'll find a couple of spots to plant some in our raised beds here. And I'll show you the secret that I use to maximize my yields and to make sure my plants stay as healthy as they possibly can. And we're transplanted. Took about 3-4 minutes. Very easy. Didn't have to do anything but just move some dirt, place them down in it. Didn't have to sprinkle anything since they don't get anything. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and water these in so I don't forget. I'm going to go ahead and feed them in with a half-strength nutrient just to kick them off. As you can see, the California Wonder are really nice and green, and the early jalapeno that we just pulled out of the seed cells are lacking a little bit of nutrients. So we'll go ahead and slap those with a little bit of a half-strength nutrient, get those going, finish off that transplant, and then we'll find somewhere to put a couple of peppers in the garden here so I can show you my secret. And this is what I use. I use some Jax. This is what I'm using for this one. For the actual grow itself, I'm going to be using Jax 20-20-20 water-soluble nutrients. Let's get the water made up. What do you think, Burrow? So I'm just going to take in my scoop. This is 1.5 tablespoons. That comes with Miracle-Gro. Back up. We'll dump that in. And turn on my IBC. This is a 1,000-liter IBC covered in Panda film to allow no light leaks and no algae bloom. And currently this thing is full to the brim. So there is 300 gallons or 275 or whatever's in here. Give it a little mix. And we'll let that fill. All right, while that fills, I'll give you a little explanation of what's going on here. Here's my 300-gallon IBC or 275-gallon IBC, whichever, covered in Panda film. Inside's black, Outside's white to not allow any light leaks. I did leave this space right here because this is where the notches are, the indicators, so I can know how much it is full. And as you can see, I think it's full to the brim. It gets fed in from right here into my gutter, which I had it undone because it's been raining so much and this has been full. When this overflows, it just runs right down here. I want this to run down and out to where it's supposed to, away from the house. Oh, all right, overflowed just a little. But this gets fed in here through this filter down into here. It goes back here where I can turn this on and off. It's off right now, but when I turn this on, it follows this hose back to here. So it'll fill this up whenever I turn it on, and it'll equalize to the same height that's in here. Being as this thing's full, this thing will overflow until this one comes down and equalizes. That's just how water works. But this is what I mix my nutrients in. So this is my nutrient barrel, and this is my rainwater. This rainwater is going to end up being distributed through drip lines all throughout my garden, over there to the tomatoes, back over here to these tomatoes, and to the onions, hopefully, if I can. But the nutrient tank right here is going to run down to my hydroponic peppers, which it currently runs to my hydroponic strawberries, which haven't taken off yet. They just got planted. They were bare roots, and I might be in a little bit of an issue with those, but we'll get into that in a different video. So let's get this going. So here we are, next to my determinants and my carrots. Move this out of the way. Peppers grow fine next to carrots, next to tomatoes. Tomatoes are in the same family as peppers, nightshades. Pull up some of these weeds. I do have a single carrot growing right here. I think I'll pull that one out of the way. But I'm going to go ahead, just dig me a little spot, no bigger than the cup or container that your pots are in. Now this is a salsa blend. I'm not quite sure exactly which one it'll be. There's multiple different varieties in the pack that I got, but I'm assuming this is some kind of a hot pepper. Not sure exactly what it'll be yet, but it doesn't matter. Okay, fits good. Put a little bit more in. Now, the ingredients that I use for my in-ground or organic, and in my containers when they're not hydroponic, I also use this, but I also use compost for the breakdown process. They are in the ground, so they will break down, but compost never hurts. I use an all-purpose 444, anything close to a 444, a 563, a 555, a 333, a 621, or a 563, a 653, a 645, whatever. And as long as they are moderately close together, you don't want one that's 12, 2, 6. You know what I mean? We want something that's moderately close together. Of course, those are good for certain plants, but we want just a general all-purpose. Take one little scoop. And the secret ingredient that I use to make sure I maximize my harvest is this, bone meal. Now, if you look, this is high in phosphorus. This is very, very high in phosphorus and calcium. This is basically just dehydrated, broken, or dried up, broken down, grinded bones, animal bones. This is a byproduct of the animal industry. Works great. Let's take a little bit. That's it. What a lot of people don't know about fertilizing plants is that they react based on the fertilization. What I mean by that is if you give them something high in nitrogen, nitrogen is responsible for a lot of leaf growth, a lot of expansion, green color, things like that. So the production of chlorophyll, all things like that. If you give them something high in nitrogen, they will want to produce more leaves, more foliage, things like that. Phosphorus is for the root growth. Blooming plants love phosphorus. You need high calcium for flowering plants. So I tend to put in a little bit of bone meal. It makes sure that it enhances my blooms, enhances my flower production, which in turn produces me more peppers or tomatoes or eggplants or whatever you happen to be using that fruits. Let's get this in. Hope that explains a little bit to you guys. But the phosphorus and the calcium is going to help out dramatically to our flower production. As you can see, this already has some peppers on it. Don't know if I'm going to leave those on there or if I'm just going to pull those off and let my roots expand and the plant grow a little bigger before it worries about putting on peppers. I am going to pull off these bottom 2 leaves and just work that soil around. Make sure to break it up around. That way all the roots are in contact with something. And I'm going to come right back and do the same thing with the 444 and the bone meal. I'm going to work that in. That's one plant. This is how I do it. This is for all of my in-ground as well as my raised garden beds. I even do this to container gardens as well. But with container gardens, you have to add a lot of nitrogen or a lot of compost because you actually do not have that much microbial life in a container garden versus a in-ground garden. Think about all the trillions of microbes and bacteria and fungi that live in the soil in a raised bed or just in ground versus in a container. So you have to add that microbial life to your container garden. So that's where the compost comes in. Now this has been composted twice over the winter time, once in fall and once late winter. That way it can have time to break down for when you transplant these. You get nice luscious green growth, which is what all of my tomatoes are. They look absolutely fantastic. If you look right here, beautiful green, healthy. So that's how I do it. I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 more in this very spot. One right, I guess I'll do them about a foot apart. So I'll do 3 here, and then I'm going to use the Florida Weave system, which they'll be setting that up later on. In about a week or so, once he's established and these tomato plants get a little bit bigger, I'll be using the Florida Weave for them as well. So, hope that explains things. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours. I had to wait. I would have come out here earlier as soon as I got home, but it was a scorcher today. Today was a nice 86 degrees, beautiful sunny day, but 86 degrees, too hot for me. I'm a little bit overweight, haven't been outside too much in the summer or in the winter time. It's time to get back outside. Nonetheless, I wasn't trying to kill myself today, but we got those transplanted yesterday. They look absolutely beautiful. Let's check them out. They look beautiful. We got all 3 of them in. They've been here for about 24 hours. And they're looking great. Maybe just a little minor transplant shock, but that's all right. They'll come out of it very, very quick. Okay, so the next step here that I want to do before I end this video, guys, is we're going to start these hydroponics. All right, so I did get the hydroponic system set up for the peppers. Looks absolutely great, fantastic. I did do that as soon as I got home today. When it started to cool down, the wind picked up. I came out here, got that done. Wasn't too bad. It was fairly simple. I am waiting on some parts from Amazon, and I'm waiting on some 3D printed parts to get finished so that I can actually do both of them. But I got one of them done to show you guys now. So let me show you. And here's our hydroponic system. I came out earlier today and I built me a platform because my yard is on a slope here, on a down slope, so I had to build a platform to make this level. But this is just a rain gutter grow system. This is the exact same setup as my strawberries over there in front of my bed and my strawberries back there in the back corner. The exact same setup. Exact same grow spike, everything. So if you want to know actually step by step how to make this, go back and watch that video. I'll put it up in the top right corner, and I'll drop it down in the video description as well, or in the end screen. All right, so this is the business end here. This is a 3D printed end that allows to hold a float valve in there. This is the float. This allows a drip irrigation that is ran from my barrel right there. My blue barrel is nutrient water and my white barrel is rainwater. You can see it goes to here. It goes to right there, which I have a splitter in right there. I will come back to that once I get the system hooked up, and I will hook a T to it, and that his system will be hooked up. But it comes to a T, runs to the back down there, and that runs back to my strawberries back there in the back. So I could turn that on or off anytime I want. I could turn off access to that, which is good, which right now they don't seem to be doing anything, making any movement, so I'm going to turn them off. They're full of water, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave them. And then the end of it comes to here. This allows drip irrigation or dripping to come in here, fill this up slowly. As it flows up, the float fills. Once it hits to here, there is a plunger in here that will press up against the intake, and it will stop it. So it will shut off when it gets to a certain height that you set it. You set it by twisting this right here and twisting it, moving it around to where you want, and then tightening it back. And you can see our grow spikes. These are just some grow spikes, 3D printed, with wicks ran in them. These are 100% cotton wicks, or America's the best, but these are going to work just as fine. That's it. That's all they consist of. These are two 2x4s, just so I can have a level. And they are going to be sitting off-center. The spikes are. It's going to be fine. We are growing in 100% cocoa and perlite, so it's going to be fine at wicking. It's going to be perfect. Here is the end that I was explaining, the blank end with the access to empty it. I can just open that up and empty this out whenever I need to change anything out or move the system around or anything like that. You can see that's how it is. And here's the plants. These are the peppers. They've been in here for 24 hours and they are looking fantastic. Really good, really good. These are what's going to go on here. And we'll just plop them down, let the spike pierce the bottom of the grow bag, and from there, the water that maintains inside of our reservoir, because this is going to act as a mini reservoir, it will wick up and it will dissipate out, disperse out into our grow bag, since moistening our soil, keeping it at a perfect soil moisture. Pretty good, pretty good. I love this little thing. This thing is very, very simple to make. Very easy. You don't have to do it this way. If you can think of other ways to do this type of a system, have at it. Let me know what you guys are doing. Drop a comment below. Like this video if you guys found any of this useful. Now, I think the next thing to do would be to go ahead and mix up some nutrients and put them in the barrel. All right, I don't think anything's floating around in here. I've got a little bit of debris on top, get that out, but it's clean for the most part. This water does go through a filter that's on the front of that before it ever reaches here. But I think I'm gonna let this fill up a little bit more, utilize the water because it's about to rain, so I'll let the rain barrel fill back up, and then we'll mix some nutrients in. All right. Open that up. That runs back to right there, which is open. Now, this should be filling up slowly, but it will. All right, we'll give that about 10 minutes or so and then come back. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Oh yeah, looking good. That's good enough. I'm only filling up 2. Like I said, the strawberries are already filled up. This is way more than what I need, but this gives me a good buffer to actually let them sit for a while, because this reservoir should take up about a good couple of weeks at least for those plants to transpire water and bring that water up from the gutter itself. So I think it should last a couple of weeks, maybe about 3 weeks or so. So I already have my nutrients. Like I said, I'm going to be using some Jacks here, some 15-5-20, some feed. This is for like a veg mix, which I will be switching to a Jack's 20-20-20. But for the time being, I just need these peppers to kind of take off. So we're going to go ahead and give them just a little bit of nutrients in here. I'm not going to go full strength. I'm going to go maybe 3/4 strength. I'm going to try to go maybe around a 2.0 EC. I'll also bring my AC Infinity pH meter kit. AC Infinity, real nice. You can save yourself some money. Grab something up from acinfinity.com. Use code STONED. Save yourself some money. Or use Stoned AC on Amazon. Save yourself some money. Always love saving money. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of this to our nutrient barrel here, and then we'll pH it and make sure everything's right. And this is specifically made for tap water. Even though this is rainwater, I got this for tap water because I use this in other grows. But this does not have to be mixed in hot water. This will mix up in cool water just as well. Grab my mixer. Now let's pull out our kit. All right, let's give it a test. We're at a 5.5 pH. 1.1, so that makes it a 2.2 EC. I'm good with that. Now I do want to raise this pH of this up just a little bit. So I'm going to go grab some pH up. Got a brand new bottle of General Hydroponics pH up. And not going to do a lot of measuring. We'll just see what that does. Once again, we grab our meter. .9. I want it around a 6.0. I'm good with that. Now that's done. I'm going to go ahead, test the system. We will, oh yeah, instantly heard it. Awesome. We will give it time to fill up. Then we'll drop our plants on. I just have these sitting in here just because they fit, and I don't want them falling over. Beans are sitting over there. We'll just go ahead and sit those in there. Pretty good. Be back in a minute. Okay, so it's been about a week or so since I've got this system hooked up. We had about 3 or 4 days of straight rain or drizzle. So I just hooked the system up. I set them in there. I put some nutrients in the barrel, and we just let them sit to see what they would do. And they are looking fantastic. So let me show you what we've got going on. And there's our system. Everything's hooked up. They are getting a about 2.2 EC for some nutrients, and they are getting just a mix, a Jax, Jax 15, 15, 10, 30, something like that. It's a balanced mix. Looking beautiful. Our California Wonders are looking fantastic. Starting to green up, starting to show some nice signs of some beautiful, vigorous growth. We've got pepper starting on them. And then over here, we've got our early jalapenos. And you can see where they were just starting to have a little bit of a nutrient problem. So we got them in this system. They've been in here a few days. And if you can see this new growth, looking great. Looking beautiful. I did get some mulch on these. I need to go to my big box store, buy some more straw, and I'm going to put some straw on that, which I've got some more of the fabric grow bags coming. So we've got, I do believe, 12 more of them, which I don't need 12, but I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 8 more of the grow bags to fill up this system, and that's what we're going to be using. We still have some peppers here. We've got a few peppers back here hiding, as well as a few peppers, I think, over here somewhere. Either way, we have enough peppers to go in here. So this system's going to be full up. Once the system gets full up, I'm going to see how it reacts to heavy wind to see if I need to put a Florida weave system in here, which I will just end up putting a post at one end, a post at the other end, and then just weave some string in between just to hold them up from blowing over. But the system is very, very sturdy from what I'm seeing already right now, because these bags are saturated, not highly saturated, but moist, perfectly moist. And the channel the grow channel underneath is completely full of water. So it is very heavy. Not to mention the two 2x4s that run along each one. So this whole system is moderately heavy. Let me set you up here and show you the wick underneath. All right, lift that up. All right, look at that. You can see the wick. It's doing its thing. That's it. Perfect. And in case of overfilling or rainwater going in here and messing with my nutrients, diluting them, I can always open this up, flush out my system if need be. Now, in the meantime of me doing this, I did put in some new peppers. This is a failed strawberry attempt, but nonetheless, we're going to make up for it with a whole thing of peppers. So this video will be out soon. Stick around for that. Absolutely fantastic. So happy with this. This is the rain gutter grow system. Everything is perfect on this. Phenomenal. All right, so you've seen that. What a beautiful system. I can't be more happy than I am with that. It turned out perfect. Exactly how I want. I think it's going to perform better than I expected it to. I'm just glad I don't have to worry about watering my plants. I am a busy person. I have multiple channels, multiple things going on. I like to get outside. I like to do things. I like to spend my time in the outdoors, camping, fishing, blah, 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 blah. So this is one less thing I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about spending my hot summer days out here making sure my plants are nice and healthy and watered. Now I just get the kickback. It's easy. It's set for me. I don't have to do anything. Plus, if I need to, I can jump onto my cameras and I can check it out to see how it's doing. And if this video helped you out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, stick around. We got a lot of stuff growing on this summer, and keep growing. We'll see you guys next time.